My name is Nathan, and I'm playing Nokrin in our current round of Daggerheart. So, Nokrin is from this secret underground society in the city of Umbria. And when I say secretive, I mean the people living there don't know that anything above the surface is alive, and nothing alive above the surface knows about this city. They have to keep very close guard on their citizens to make sure that nobody gets out and nobody gets in. Now, Nokrin knew about this because he was part of this prestigious guard that helped enforce this barrier between their inside world and the outside world. And the main way they would do this, if somebody managed to escape the city, is they would mark that person a deserter, and they would go out, hunt that person down, bring them to justice, usually by keeping them locked up or killing them and telling their relatives that the horrors of the outside world made them lose their minds. Now, one day, while Nokrin was chasing down one of these deserters, he found light in the form of his goddess, Luxuria. She showed him a path through the brutal night to Amicora.
Hi, my name is Richard Froman, and I am playing Asher Crumb. Now, Asher Crumb is a half-orc, half-human, underborn wizard. And Asher has had a tough life. Asher, being from the underborn, was born in the ghettos and the undercity of Amicora to his two parents who loved him dearly. Sadly, being from the, under parts of the city, it meant that things were dangerous and people had to escape the dangers and the stress and the anxiety somehow, which led to a lot of drug usage. Now, the drug of choice in Amicora is called fleece. Now, sadly, his parents were addicted to fleece. And at a young age, Asher was also exposed to fleece. And after long-term exposure with fleece, your body's temperature, gets too high, and some either melt or develop unique powers from said fleece. Sadly, his parents melted away, but Asher himself developed super unique and helpful powers. He didn't understand that these came from such a dangerous thing like a drug. He just knew that these things did good for the people around him. And he was supplied this fleece from his parents' supplier, Barnacle. Now, Barnacle acted as a surrogate guide figure, whether there was some form of guilt from being the person who supplied his parents with the drug, I don't know, but there was a little bit of parenting in kind of a wayward way. And after a while, Asher got away from Barnacle because he was enrolled in the city's magical youth program. And, he went through this program and then found his way to being part of the Doctors Guild in Amicora. And he's very proud of this. And he does good for the city. But, that being said, he does look down on the people that he used to associate with down in the under parts of the city, Barnacle being one of those people. And as he's grown older, he's kind of put together some of those, things that didn't quite make sense as a child. He's put them together now, and he's angry with Barnacle and other people from his past, and he can't really get past that. So yeah, that's Asher Crumb.
Hi, I'm Garrett. I will be playing Barnacle, an underborn Ribbits, in our Daggerheart campaign. Barnacle was born in the dark, humid caverns beneath the surface world. Among his people, he was an oddity, even at birth, a pale-skinned nightwalker with eyes that glowed faintly in the dark. Gax, his best friend since childhood, was the only one who saw Barnacle's oddness as a sign of something greater, someone who could challenge the rigid traditions of their clan. The two were inseparable. Together they explored the deeper caves, always skirting the edges of the community's boundaries and rules. It was in these forgotten tunnels where Barnacle first encountered Fleece, a peculiar and dangerous drug that sharpened the mind but dulled the soul. He and Gax dabbled in its use, finding the rush it provided intoxicating. As Barnacle grew older, he found himself caught up in the allure of fleece, more so than he ever intended. Soon he was drawn into the network of smugglers who dealt the drug in secret. Barnacle became a middleman, trading in fleece for coin and the thrill it gave him, carefully hiding his actions from the rest of his people. But his best friend Gax was not so blind. He noticed these changes in his friend, the recklessness, the secrecy, the growing addiction to the power fleece provided. Concerned for Barnacle, Gax confronted him, begging him to leave the trade before it consumed them both. One night, after a particularly high-stakes trade, everything went wrong. The deal had been botched, and in the ensuing chaos, Gax was caught in the crossfire. Desperate to escape, Barnacle and Gax fled through an uncharted tunnel that opened into a vast cavern with a black, murky lake. In their attempt to cross and flee, Gax slipped and fell into the lake. Barnacle panicked, paralyzed, could only watch as his best friend struggled in the murky depths. Gax's cries for help grew fainter as he disappeared beneath the water surface. The cold, unforgiving depths swallowed him whole, leaving Barnacle alone on the shore, unable to swim and too afraid to dive in after him. From that moment on, water became Barnacle's greatest fear in life. The sound of rushing water, the sight of it, all of it sent him spiraling into terror, reminding him of that horrible night. He blamed himself for Gax's death, not just for the drug deal that went wrong, but his failure to save his best friend from drowning. The memory of Gax's final moments haunt him, filling him with dread whenever he's near water to this day. As punishment for his role in the botched deal and Gax's death, Barnacle was exiled from his community, stripped of his name and place among the underborn. The elders cursed him to wander the surface world, where he'd become an outcast and he had to find his way. He eventually found his way to the city of Amicora, and this is ultimately where we're going to pick up our story. To this day, he still deals in fleece. He's found his own, community of dealers, and he actually knows one of our players, Asher Crumb. He is one of his best friends and still deals the drug to this day. We'll see how that goes in our campaign.